Now, Isaiah Sharp with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Clearer conditions than what we saw yesterday and cooler conditions than what we saw yesterday. We saw plenty of rain pass on through. Temperatures sitting into the mid 40s. Now currently sitting into those mid 30s and no wind whatsoever. The humidity is still up there, but a bit of separation between that dew point and the temperature. So probably not expecting too much fog moving into the rest of tonight. I showed this shot earlier. Nice and quiet right now, but Bogus Basin, it was tons of fun earlier today just watching all the skiers and snowboarders pass on through as the first lift of the year made its way up there. I'm a little jealous. I was kind of under the weather this morning, feeling a lot better now, but man, I would love to have hit the slopes today. And hopefully in the coming weeks we will be able to, and hopefully along with some fresh powder. So let's see if we have some fresh powder. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about temperatures though. 50s, really nice conditions up here. Twin Falls didn't get up there just yet, but heading into the rest of this week, we are expecting some warmer than normal conditions on the way. 30s up into those mountain ranges. Hopefully the warmth won't affect the snow too much. I'm not trying to see too much rain up into those mountains, but let's take a look at what our forecast has to see. So it looks as though Sunday some more showers are on the way, and this is going to be happening close to the noon hour, so just be prepared for it. Twin Falls, not too much to be concerned about. These systems look to pass just a little bit further to the north, but some more snow is on the way, so something to pay attention to. Hopefully have an updated ski report for you, and some of those numbers will be a little bit higher than what we are seeing. That's going to continue on late into the afternoon. Some more showers on the way for the Boise region and some more snow into those mountains. Heading into Monday, some more activity passing on through. It just seems like wave after wave after wave is coming on in after a really dry and warm November. The start of December set to be a little different. I'm a little concerned about this though, because take a look. This yellow is starting to move a little bit closer to the Boise region. And you may notice those mountain ranges starting to turn a little bit green, which is not what I want to see. We want to see a little bit more blue pass on through, but we might see some rain snow mixes for those higher elevations because of the bump in temperatures that's on the way. Those showers continuing into Tuesday as well. I'm sorry, Treasure Valley, if you're not a fan of the rain, you're not going to be a fan of this forecast, because today, or actually Sunday, I should say, going through Wednesday, we are expecting at least a chance of rain to pass on through. Really heavy rain expected going into Wednesday. And the warmer temperatures on top of that as well could potentially break 60 degrees. Take a look, as we are going to be seeing a little bit more snow up into those mountain ranges. But what I'm concerned about is the potential of that rain passing on through with the warmer temperatures and not getting too much snow for those higher elevations, unfortunately. But still, hopefully going to see some impressive numbers moving into the rest of the week. Wetter than normal conditions are starting to recede. It looks as though normal conditions are sitting over the top of us, and the drier than normal conditions might be bumping their way in to the Gem State. When it comes to temperatures, I want to highlight we're going to be sitting into the 40s tomorrow, but consistent 50s after that, and yes, a chance of 60 degrees on Wednesday. I'm not going to count it out just yet. Lighter chances of rain through the middle of the week, and then clearer conditions as we head into the weekend. When it comes to the Treasure Valley, like I said, if you're not a fan of rain, you're not going to be a fan of this. Take a look. Rain, 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 rain all the way through Thursday. It's going to start to lighten up, hopefully. 59 expected on the way for Wednesday. That'll be the best chance of 60 degrees. But you might want to get ready for some more showers on the way.